making out.
Okay. We're not live. We're live. Hey, man.
Howdy, are we live now?
Yeah, we're live. Hold up. Let's do this up.
What's up live?
Let me get you up in here. Here we go.
Oh, that's funny.
There we go. All right. Let's get this righteous. Let me shrink myself. You're all huge.
Oh, did you? I see in episode 34. Was that us now?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sweet. It says 1 hour
So
ago.
we got 3 people. Yeah, it was supposed to start a little bit ago. But hi, everybody. We're live.
Hey.
Yay us. Yay. Okay.
Hey.
Some gym's like right there and big. We'll figure it out. This is new.
Oh, I'm huge.
You are huge.
Can you slide me to the side?
I can't.
Oh,
what
weird.
I could do is like give you a link to come into eCam and then we can try that if you wanted. But that's up to you, bruh.
You just turn me sideways and then I'll pretend like I'm looking at you. Oh, hey.
Let's see what this is about. Okay. There. All right. So, yeah.
What's up, shouting at clouds?
What up, shouting at clouds, man? Let me get this up so I can actually see. Can we make sure sound is good, everybody? I don't know.
What up, sound?
Let us know. Can you type that in the chat? I don't know. Let me get this up. Okay.
Oh yeah, I will do that. Sometimes I have an echo in my headphones. I don't know if you guys can hear that.
Okay. So, eCam. All right. How's the sound out there, man? All right. What up, shouting at clouds? Good to see you, man. Let's see. It looks like we are in excellent condition. Our stream health. We have excellent stream health, James.
I love that.
I know.
I wonder if the Stream Health got its V shops.
That's what I hear, dude. That's what I hear.
Nice. As long as it got both of them, then it can take off its blask. I mean, it's face rask.
Oh yeah, it's face rash.
Yeah, I'm speaking in code in case you guys didn't know.
Yeah, we got that self-censoring thing going on.
I'm being super sneaky.
So let's see.
General Leprechaun
Yo,
style.
we need to know if the sound is coming through though, guys. Seriously. I'm just gonna have to go check it myself. Fuck.
Oh, I can turn it up.
Here we go. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Yeah, take your headphone off, Jim, and let me know. You can hear me all right?
A little bit tin canny sounding.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay. How's that? Is that better or no?
Yeah.
Check.
You guys didn't know.
Yeah, we got that self-censoring thing going on. Okay. I figured it out. Got it.
Now it's a weird.
How's it now? Is it better? Worse? Check. Or what about this?
Fix it on the live.
Say what? How is this? Better? Worse? Sounds bad. Check, check, check. Check. This is awful. This is awful. I'm gonna have to cancel. I'm gonna have to fix them here. All right, now the echo. That's awful. You're not. I am. It's terrible. I know. That sounds crazy. Okay. As long as everybody can hear us out there, I guess that's the.
Good.
Yeah, but it's
No.
awful. Now this is the best one for me, to be totally honest with you. This, but I gotta make sure that this is going out to. Can you talk, Jim?
Yeah, I can talk.
Okay, good. That sounds good. You sound great. Okay, let me
Hey.
confirm this.
That damn delay.
Damn delay. Well, we're gonna discuss.
You sound good.
Okay, cool. We're good right now. Everything's
so.
okay. Good. All right. Good.
There. Okay, that was excruciating.
It's okay now. All right, we're gravy. We're good.
Yeah.
Screw it. Okay. Now, let us. I'm just gonna hang out right here to your left, Jim.
I like that.
I like it too. Works. I'm not feeling color. I'll just do this.
You know, sometimes you got to back in black and white.
You know
right?
Yep. Repping. Okay. So we were gonna discuss what were we gonna discuss tonight? Some fun nonsensical YouTube BS.
Do that.
Yeah, because it is UFO nonsense, and I don't know, man. It certainly feels a lot like it feels like they're just trying to throw a bone, and it's just like here, take this. Let's focus.
Yeah.
Let's focus on here. Look at all this UFO stuff. Cool. Which is literally okay, so.
They're like, we're gonna release some Fauci emails and UFO stuff. UFO stuff.
It's like, and we're suckers for UFO stuff, right? Like that's the thing. It's just like, really? I haven't really heard many talking about it.
You know, it was UFO stuff that got me into the whole weird stuff, high strangeness thing in the first place. Like, I think I was like in the 5th grade, and I got this like 3 set of Time Life books that came in like a box set, and they're like this beautiful like coffee table books, you know, like UFOs,
It was like
unexplained mysteries,
yeah, with the
like
pyramid.
cryptids or something, like monsters or whatever. It was so cool. Like
It was rad. I wanted those.
probably my parents have them, I think, probably, or something. But like I read those, I went cover to cover in those things like over and over and over again. You know, like totally opened up my mind to like looking for weird stuff everywhere.
Right. And it was like, that was always the thing that was like, yeah, that was my weak spot too. It was like ghosts. Obviously, we all make our, I feel like the rite of passage is always like ghosts for somebody,
Oh yeah.
For some it's Bigfoot, but UFOs, ghosts, that's the holy trinity, if you will.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's all of it too. Like they all go together, and it feels like a secret. Like you just stumbled onto this amazing secret that like it's a real thing that's out there. I mean, there's books about it. There's like why would people make up such weird shit? Like
Right.
seems like a special secret, and that like that it could be real, and that people don't believe it's real. That's even more secret because it's like an exclusive club that you're a part of.
Precisely.
If you see it, you're lucky and you're special.
Yeah. It's like and I always keep my eyes to the sky. I'm always looking, and I never. You've been lucky. I mean, as you've mentioned before, um,
Yeah,
with some of your
I've had a lot of
experiences.
experiences.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if Gordy is going to be able to jump in. We're not sure yet, but he's definitely got a very, very what nuanced opinion on just what these drip drip disclosures actually are. Um, I'll zoom that out a little bit. My bad. But yeah, which I don't want to speak for him, but I'll just say like basically it's our tech. He's convinced of that. I know that much. But all that
Well, a
aside,
lot of things are our tech, I think, but also, I mean, most of the mainstream UFO stuff that like the military is showing you, I think that's our tech. You
yeah,
know, I think it's a controlled burn sort of thing. It's a controlled release for sure. I mean, I also think that there are UFOs that people see, the weirder sort of things that aren't like things like orbs, like there's other things that aren't a flesh and blood alien. I think there are like some sort of energies or entities or sort of a spiritual or a dimensional thing.
right. And the whole and as people anybody that's watched the show before knows my stance on this being like interdimensional ultra terrestrial sort of thing. I feel like the outer space I feel like the outer space narrative is just that, and it was like it feels like it was just like thrust upon the public at large, if you will. With the whole Roswell thing, like insinuating, "Yo, this is outer space shit." It was like, dude, come on. Um, but granted, when you jump into it and start doing your own research into it, you quickly discover that there's much more to meet the eye. But all that aside, what they're throwing at us now is like, oh, it could be aliens, it could be blah blah blah. But one of the things that I noticed, I can't remember who actually released the article, like if it was Washington Post, whatever, but it basically came out saying that we have drone technology that can go underwater. You know what I mean? And basically, I don't know. I'll try and dig it up real quick, but the article. But yeah, basically it was admitting that we have drone technology that can go underwater, and it can be submersible, go up, whatever. It doesn't really matter. The point is basically what they said without saying it. So was that I know I'm dancing all over the place. My brain is fried right now. Basically, they were saying all the videos that we've seen, i.e., the Tic Tac, the what else? The Tic Tac, the Go Fast, all those videos, and then when you hear David Fravor's testimony, when he goes on the record with what he experienced that day with the with that Tic Tac thing or whatever, saying it was like down.
So who's David Fravors again?
David Fravor was the guy that Corbell interviewed and George Knapp. He was basically the squad leader in 2004 off the Nimitz, the first guy to come out basically and tell us the story. Was that well in his retelling of the story? Basically, he says that this object was hovering, creating like a white caps hovering right there, you know, right on the surface of the ocean, and then creating a disturbance, you know, on the surface of the ocean, and then all of a sudden just darting up, almost like, and also insinuating it seemed that, you know, this thing was under the ocean, actually, um, or just under the surface. Blah blah blah. The point is what was disclosed this past week, or maybe it was 2 weeks. Doesn't really matter. What was disclosed is that these drones, we have technology, basically that these, what Fravor saw, could very well have been our own technology. That's the point I'm getting to. I know that was extremely convoluted and
Like uh s- super physics, like like levitation technology, physics that we don't actually have in our science. Like they haven't, like they figured it out in World War II, and it's sort of top secret. So, and they
if
haven't given us mainstream people access to that science. You know,
right,
like torsion physics.
right, but it also feels like almost like a quantum superpositioning sort of, you know what I mean? That kind of makes sense to me, at least. That, I don't know. It's fascinating either way that they're admitting that this tech is. They're finally coming out and admitting that the tech is what it is. But um, basically, I just think they're trying to pivot away from like, ooh, shiny object over here, guys, look at this, because there's
Yeah.
a weakness for us, like people like me, people like you, people like any of us that are into alternative, you know, just you know, fringe topics, fun, crazy, weird, high strange, just doesn't really matter. And it's just lazy when all these revelations are coming out about, you know, uh, that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they wouldn't, there wouldn't be rock stars associated with it, you know, if it wasn't something that, uh, I mean, I guess if there's a rock star that's into something, that they would be more interest that they kind of push it, be like, oh, why is,
Right, and
why?
and he just disappeared too. Tom DeLonge just is gone now from the scene. It's hilarious. It's
Yeah,
like
that's weird. Is it because everybody's
it,
making fun of him?
no, it's because they used him, and like it's blatantly obvious now. If we go back and think about it, like that dude, yeah, they did pick it. Christopher Mellon is making the rounds. Does it, I mean, think about this, guys. Christopher Mellon is of the Carnegie Mellon family. Like,
Yeah, that's not elite controller.
no, like, come on, like this is, I get, and Luel's not like, yeah, believing a career CIA, like it's kind of a fun, it's kind of fun to watch a little bit. Luel's, I know, at least squirm. He seems like a decent guy, I'll be totally honest. Like I don't have anything against the dude. Uh, I'm not trying to bash any of these people except maybe Christopher Mellon, because he does seem like a total weirdo. And on his Joe Rogan interview, he literally is breathing all crazy and heavy, and
Was Joe rubbing his leg under the table
Joe
or
Rogan
something?
actually stopped about 15, 20 minutes into the interview and said, I'm sorry, is that you breathing? And not that there's anything wrong with the way you're breathing. He literally said that, almost verbatim.
What?
Yeah, I'm not kidding. He's like, is that you breathing? And I didn't, I remember hearing Joe Rogan say that. I wasn't watched,
I
like,
kind of have. I have to see that.
yeah.
That's weird. That's a weird thing to point out. I mean, if
Yes.
you have a guest, it'd be kind of disrespectful to point out something like
Yeah.
they're breathing, something that goes automatic. Like if somebody has a, like there's a Kennedy that has sort of like a voice. I forget what his name is, but he's in interviews and he's kind of like a really scratchy voice, and it all it always like I'm always like, what's going on with his voice? Like, is that like, and nobody ever says anything in the interviews like what's wrong with, like they don't say like, oh, are you okay, or like, they don't address it. So like, I think they're being polite, because it could be something like a medical condition, and
Right. Or
They're legalizing animal and human cloning. They just did it. Human clones are legal. Animal human clones are legal. I've said that 1,000 times in the last 5 years. Conservatively.
that's too good.
Conservatively.
That's too good. What up, Midnight Mike?
conservatively.
Had to. You've inspired me, Midnight Mike.
Now I'm loud.
No, we're good. We're good.
Okay, I'll turn myself down here.
Some laughs here.
I had a button depressed. That's what was going on.
Depressed.
Yeah, the pad button.
Ooh, that's not a good one.
No. That's what happens when you carry your board around in your back pocket all day long.
This is true. So
It's true.
basically, what I wanted to get at was, this is all just a. It feels like just we're not going to learn anything. We're not going to get any. We're not going to get any.
It's perpetual dick tease.
Yeah.
They're it's like, it's
What
the
could
pretty
they-
girl that's taking us out on a date, and we buy her dinner, and we keep get a hint that we might get a kiss,
Right.
but
What do you
then
ultimately,
somebody
though-
calls right at the last minute, and we have to take them home, and there's a big crisis.
Right, but ultimately, what do you think, like... Oh, my allergies are terrible. What do you think could be the... What do you think they're going to throw... What do you think they're going to throw out? Are they going to throw out... like, what could they possibly throw out at us at the end of this, whatever, at the end of this month when it's up? It's like, all right, guys, time to talk. And let the people know what we know. It's like, dude, what are they going to tell us that we haven't already looked into? There's
Well,
nothing
I don't think they're
shocking.
gonna say anything that is new. It's kind of like, when you watch the news, or like there's an ad for the news, you're like, something in your home can kill you. Details at 9. And then like they go, something in your home could kill you. And then like a little bit later, they're like, something in your home can kill you. Knives are very dangerous. And you're like, whoa, I have knives. And they're like, something in your home could kill you. Knives are very dangerous. 90% of families have this in their house. And you're like, whoa, what is it? And they're like, something in your home. It can definitely kill you. People have died every day, and they all have knives. And you're like, whoa, what is it? They're like, 90% of people who run with knives fall on their knife and die. And you're like, whoa, what? I stayed up for that.
Right. It's like, what could they possibly give us? Like, I don't. What are they going to give
No,
us?
I don't think they're gonna give us anything. They're gonna make it real appealing. They're gonna make it very interesting and very mainstream to talk about it. It'll be like, whoa, what is it? Like we're talking about it now. And then we're not gonna get much. We're just gonna get like somebody new is gonna pop up and say, yep, I saw him, and I'm a general, and they're real. But like there's not gonna be any more new proof. There's just going to be somebody else, like somebody that we knew was talking about him will come out and make an official statement, and they'll talk about him. And then I think that really what it is it's in order to guide people into it being a mainstream thing. I think it's to bolster the space program, the Space Force.
Yeah, that's what it
You know,
seems.
like drumming up mental
or
allegiance.
like try to get morale boosted to maybe recruit.
To recruit.
Maybe? Who knows? It could be something along those lines.
It might be Biden who says, you know what, all this UFO stuff, it's like what's his name, Barack Obama will come out and say, yes sir, it is definitely true, we have UFO stuff and we still don't know what it is, but we want your support. Kids, now that you don't have jobs, we've got like sign up, go
Right.
today and we'll figure it out, we'll all get to the bottom of it.
Yeah. that
and it'll be a major recruitment thing, but nobody will know what it is still. But
Yeah.
everybody will be thinking about it, and and then they'll focus on stuff on the ground, stuff to keep us busy,
Right.
stuff to distract us,
to keep us away from, like, oh, by the way,
Yeah.
remember all the let's see, everything that we all the shit from the past 12 months that we've gotten our hands on, and been like, oh, well, could it be this? And just shooting the shit, laughing about it, going, it's probably this, it could be this. Well, we're hearing this, we're hearing that, we're seeing this regarding, the COVID nonsense and all that crap, where it's just like, dude, all that's coming out, and yeah, dude, we're now proven right, which is crazy.
So it's
Like,
I mean, they say,
everything-
we don't know what it is, but it might be a threat. It's not true. It's not true. Because if there's any slightest chance that it was a threat,
right,
the government would be all over defending us from it. We would have actual, there would already be people that are trying to shoot down these mysterious things. There would be efforts to make bases on Mars and the moon.
Absolutely.
Actual efforts.
There would not be arguments politicizing BS over a mask. That wouldn't be an issue, period. That would be
Exactly.
It would be a joke. Nobody would be questioning the shit. So the point with that is, now, I don't know if you've had this little battle with your own mind, or like a struggle in your own mind, Jim, but I have a little bit, like, where it's been like, damn it. I was talking to another friend that's not necessarily doesn't, have the same line of thinking that you or I have, with this sort of shit. And I was telling her, I was like, man, how everything just kind of, like, right around May 25th, May 26th is like all the guards were let down. It's like, oh yeah, by the way, honor system for Matt, you know what I mean? Like, whatever. Now nobody cares. Like, for example, the Pfizer Forum where the Bucks play, 16,000, first full-on game. You know what I'm saying? Like, people ain't wearing, like, hardly anybody's wearing masks in there. Everybody's cheering. Dude, it's like, okay, back to normal. Here in Wisconsin, it's like really weird. My buddy Matt, shout out to Matera, what's up, bud? He was just in town. That was my, my buddy that was visiting from San Francisco. And it's funny because he was wearing his mask when he first came here for a minute, the first night we were kicking it. I was like, dude, you're allowed to wear your mask in my car because I know you're doing it to just be a contrarian. You know what I'm saying? Almost like to just be like, well, now I like wearing the mask. And it you know what I mean? It gives him like what is it, like a security blanket almost, like he's used to it, and that's fine because he's just one of those cats, like he's just he's just funny like that. He's awesome. So
Well, you might as well. Is for some people, it's a lot way easier just to put your mask on and not have to worry about it.
Well,
and
here's the thing.
then they can't see my face, so like that's
nervous,
cool.
Though, Jim, or not nervous, but he was like, he wanted to make sure that, can I put it, like, he wasn't a Trump supporter. Like, he was worried about that because he's not. Like, he just, and I get it, he's not political at all. He hates both, and I get it. But I was like, dude, you don't have to do that.
People might think he was a Trump supporter by not wearing a mask,
right? And
yeah,
I was
like people that's why there's a push to wear a bracelet that says, and like I'm vaxxed.
And I totally get that, and I understand that, but that's like a continuation of the derangement syndrome, right?
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
If we take this, break it down a little bit, I'm like, well, Matt, here in your home home state of Wisconsin, it's not like that here. Nobody gives a shit. Everybody's like, oh, this is over? Okay. Screw it. Like, yeah, we're not doing the mask thing anymore. Like, it's hilarious. So all of a sudden I watched over the course of an evening, maybe it was like 9 p.m., then by midnight, 1 a.m., he's not thinking about the mask at all. We're in Taco Bell. all super late. You know what I mean? Like 1:30 in the morning. He's tipsy as hell.
Oh, Taco Bell.
Oh yeah. And he was wearing his mask in there, and I was looking at him like, and other people were looking at him like, "Are you stupid? Why are you wearing your mask?" And they were told, you know what I mean, like, yeah, like you know, more woke looking crowd, if you will, right? So it was funny just to experience that, and then I'll let him wear the mask just to be a contrarian, because I know he's just doing it to be a dick. You know what I mean? Or he's just doing it because it makes him, yeah. It's just weird. I don't really have an issue with it. If someone wants to wear a mask, I'm not gonna be like, fine, go ahead. I'm not.
You know,
It's past the point.
we might have already been invaded by aliens.
That's what I'm saying.
Like it's a thing that I heard recently. Like Thomas Sheridan was talking about this on his channel, and he's like, you know what? Like, if it seems like we've already been invaded by aliens, and it's like a attack of the body snatchers. You know,
Yeah,
like
invasion of the body snatchers,
like it's
yeah.
not necessarily they're gonna come and shoot at us. Like maybe we got a virus, or we got infected by something that changes our DNA into an alien.
Right.
Like there's there's a parasite inside of a cat that it's a parasite that we get, and it goes into our brain, and it like eats part of our brain so that we love cats and we take care of cats. And it also gets into the brain of like mice, and it makes mice like friendly to cats. And so the mice will walk up to the cat thinking like, oh, it's a cat. Like, oh, I want to cuddle with that thing. And then the cat devours it, And he said that there was, STDs where it makes people want to have sex with strangers just so that virus can populate itself. And I haven't specifically heard of that, but it kind of seems legit. Like, what if it is that we've gotten infected? Like the whole coronavirus thing is an infection that takes us over, and it changes the way people think about common sense stuff,
Exactly.
Like, all right, people's eyes just glaze over and you go automatic.
Yeah. That makes no sense. In all honesty,
it's like, yeah,
you just brought
you become
something up,
obedient.
that I need to, like the alien kind of invasion, where
Yeah.
can draw another line here to it, which would be, I don't know if anybody's heard about this yet. Very few people have been talking about it. The province of New Brunswick in Canada. Stop me if you know what I'm about to say.
No, I'm interested
everybody,
though.
You guys aren't going to believe this if you haven't heard this yet. This is insanity. Okay, so I'm actually going to pull this up. Okay, let's do this. Okay. I'm going to get the article up right now because it is insane. So basically, in New Brunswick, Canada, there is a disease, not a flesh eating, but it's pretty damn frightening. Literally, this is more, how can I put it? It's literally horror movie shit where people are having, their insomnia is one of the first things that they're reporting. Okay. This is taking over like a town, essentially, from what I understand. I'm pulling the article up here. Now,
seriously.
No, wait a second. Dude, it's way great. That's nothing. Insomnia is in fact like infecting the town or what have you. And then also one of the things is literally nightmarish visions of the dead. And I'm not even kidding you, like hallucinations of dead people.
What?
I'm not kidding. This is actual, so I will pull this up. New Brunswick, Canada. Here we go. I'll find this. This is insane. They think it could be some sort of mass hallucination.
And New Brunswick, Connecticut?
New Brunswick, Canada, in the province of New Brunswick.
Oh, in Canada.
Yeah. Okay, mysterious brain disorder that that causes hallucinations. Here we go.
On a share screen.
Yeah, I'm doing this right now.
Awesome. Whoa, this is totally goes along the lines of Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Absolutely. That's why I'm going there. Okay, so here we go. Can you see this?
Yes.
Okay. Mysterious brain disorder. So, yeah, this is legit. 7 days ago, as you can see. Yahoo. Everywhere. Okay. New York Post.
Oh.
Yeah, it's legit. So let's look at this. Let's peep New York Times. Let's peep this one. This is so wild.
Tooth shattering?
Yeah. Okay.
I wonder
Mysterious
if these...
brain that causes hallucinations and tooth shattering has infected dozens of Canadians, and experts aren't sure why. So it's like prions. They don't really necessarily know, but that does seem to be the case. So researchers believe 5 people have died from this disease. A leaked memo from health officials. Yeah, it leaked back in March. Nobody said anything about this, but there was a leaked memo back in March of 2021. Okay, so we got this unknown brain disease causes hallucinations, memory loss, spasms, muscle wasting, and tooth shattering. And at least
What is tooth shattering?
Here we go. At least 43 people in Canada's New Brunswick province have fallen ill to an unknown brain disease that causes spasms, memory loss, and hallucinations, and doctors are stumped. Public health officials believe 5 people in the so-called cluster have died from this disease since the first case was spotted in 2015.
Have died?
Died. Yes.
Oh, geez.
Here we go. It's just about to get wilder and wilder. We have not seen... See, okay, I'm going to pause real quick right here and throw this out there. Now, if anybody's been paying attention to... You know, we've been hearing... and what up, Steven? Good to see you in the chat, buddy. If you want to, do you want to come hang out? That's my dog. That's
yeah, sure.
Steven,
yeah, you should,
Steven.
Steven.
You want to come hang out and jump in? Just let me know. Give me 1 second here.
You know what? It's weird because this, you know, how like the CDC runs a zombie apocalypse drill every year or something. You know, like recently I just heard that they did like, I don't know who it was that did the poll or whatever, but they rated like the top 10 worst cities to be in a zombie apocalypse, and like New York was number 1, of course, and most of them were all big cities. But like, why all this talk about, like, for some reason they're priming us, they're like guiding us towards thinking about zombie apocalypses, like, and prion disease, all, you know, all that stuff is brain disorders where it causes hallucinations and teeth shattering. That sounds like a freaking zombie disease.
Absolutely.
I heard somewhere like a few years ago that there was it was a long time ago, and I wish I had checked out where, but somebody had a contest, and it was like for anybody that could come up with an actual zombie virus, like if anybody that could create it there, and there was like a cash reward for that person. And, you know, just for fun, it was like $10,000 or something. But I'm sure that if somebody was onto that, some mad scientist, I'm sure there are people that would pay big money to have it generated, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just for fun. Like, I wonder if this is just a little test, a little IRL experiment, you know.
For sure.
God, it's terrifying.
I know, dude. It just gets worse. I'm trying to share this with the people, because it's not in Zoom that I'm sharing with. So let me get a website here. How the fuck can I do this in here?
We have not seen over the last 20 plus years a cluster of diagnosed resistant neurological disease like this one. Michael Coulthart, head of Canada's CJD surveillance network, told The Guardian. The disease came to light this month when Radio Canada and CBC got a hold of a leaked memo sent from the province's public health agency to local physicians. It's funny that it's happening in Canada. It seems like it would be picked up by the news a lot hotter if it was in the United States for some reason. And it's weird that nobody's talking about that.
Right. See, where I can share this in eCam. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. I'm working on it, guys. Sorry. YouTube. Yeah, I don't know if there's a way I can actually. Nope.
Patients first came in with spasms, then developed drooling and tooth shattering.
Yeah, you want to keep going with that? Hold on, I'll be right there.
Yeah. I don't know if I've ever heard of tooth shattering.
Right. Yeah, go on with that if you want to. I can actually make it a little bit smaller, I think.
Dr. Elir Marrero, a neurologist leading New Brunswick's investigation, said patients first came in with pains, spasms, and changes in behavior. However, because these symptoms are linked to a number of health conditions, it wasn't a huge concern. Yeah, all that stuff, pain, spasms, behavior changes, that could be anything from medication side effects for like pretty much any medication they have on a commercial has, how they go blub, 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 and like somebody rattles off all of the side effects at the end.
Yeah.
Like a lot of that stuff. Or even 5G or microwave or Wi-Fi radiation. Like that stuff could be caused by that. Like it's hard to say. And what's really scary is anything that's neurological, So the symptoms progressed to impaired cognitive abilities, muscle wasting, drooling, and tooth shattering over the next 18 to 36 months. Some of these patients also had disturbing hallucination, like insects crawling on their skin. Marrero conducted a series of tests, brain imaging, spinal taps, and toxicology tests to ensure the brain disease wasn't a known neurodegenerative disorder. And then it says researchers are on the hunt for answers. Researchers are collaborating with different national groups and various health experts to find out what it is and how it is caused, including studying the local environment. Valerie Sim, a researcher of neurodegenerative diseases at the University of Alberta, told The Guardian that it's unusual for a brain disease to have such a broad array of common symptoms. Normally, there would be a
few key signs.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then it just ends. Overall, Sim said there just isn't enough information yet to make any conclusions. Now, that's the first one, so let's go back.
Apparently, there isn't enough information to write a very detailed article about it.
Yeah, but
they're like, something is killing people in Canada, and we're going to try to find out why.
Just wait. Here we go. You guys, I'm not kidding. Lyme disease 2.0. What a providence. Avenue. Okay, so let's peep this one. Yeah, this hallucination shit is crazy. This is the one I read the other day. Okay, this is, and clearly that last article didn't do justice. Okay, so peep this.
Over 40 affected.
Yeah. Okay.
That first one said that it started in 2015.
Yeah, this is the same one. This is a different article, but check this.
Are all these in the same area, New Brunswick?
This is the same.
Wonder if there's a is there a lab there or something, or are they doing like
Okay, so get this. That's what. Here's okay. I'm gonna get to why my speculation on why this is coming out right now. Either this is total BS or there is something here. But here we go. New Brunswick could be dealing with a mysterious brain disease similar to Crutchfeld-Jacob or Jakob disease, CJD, a rare and fatal prion disease. There's that prion again.
prion again?
Yep. Public health officials confirmed that a cluster of about 43 cases, blah, blah, blah. No conditions being tracked more than a year. Okay, so it was first leaked. It was through my brain. It was through a leaked memo last week that residents in the Canadian province first learned of the investigation. The Guardian reported. In the memo, public health officials are urging doctors and nurses to be on the lookout for symptoms similar to that of CJD. We are collaborating with different national groups and experts. However, no clear cause has been identified at this time. Now, this is where it gets real wonky because they didn't mention the hallucinations and going into detail with it. So, while early symptoms may be chalked up to known conditions such as anxiety or depression, patients begin to present other symptoms within 18 to 36 months. This time, patients may experience muscle wasting, drooling, cognitive decline in teeth, chattering. Some even report having hallucinations, such as feeling like insects were crawling on their skin. While some other symptoms, such as memory loss and abnormal movements, were quite similar to that of CJD, it is worth noting that the testing has not confirmed any CJD cases. Now,
so this one said tooth chattering.
yeah.
And the one we read before said shattering. Like, I wonder if it was just a spell correct,
But get this.
autocorrect.
Get this.
That
The mysterious illness affects people of all ages. All right, so it's taking place. The majority of the cases have been linked to the Acadian Peninsula in particular, which Guardian noted to be a sparsely populated region of the province. Now, read this about Marrero. The thing is, what's really spooky about this, and this article doesn't have it either, where they're literally having hallucinations of the dead. Like, literally, I'm not even kidding. And I will find this here so you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about. Okay. Science.
So I'm looking at the Acadian Peninsula on some images on the map, and looks like, can't tell if it's just it's going out into the Atlantic Ocean there.
Right.
It's a pretty long peninsula off of the eastern side of that Canadian province. Oh, it's in a it's like a bay or a lake there. I'm not super familiar with Canadian.
Here we go. He couldn't understand what was wrong with him. This is so wild.
I wonder if it's like something related to extra low frequency waves.
See, here, okay, real quick, I'm going to pause that. I'm going to pause you real quick and go here.
This is terrifying.
Yeah, it's absolutely terrifying because this is straight up horror movie, like absolute nightmarish horror movie shit. Okay, so here's where I'm going to go with this. This could be, now either this is legit and it's just an anomaly and really freaking spooky, and either way it's really spooky. But and it's just like a one-off, whatever. And prions, we don't really know what it is. Or I could really see this being a spun in such a way to dissuade people from, once again, consuming meat, because it's blatantly obvious that, this meat shortage nonsense going on with the hacks of the beef. There were hacks. I don't know. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? Where there was like hacks.
No, they've been pushing eating insects a lot too. Again lately.
Oh yeah, it's a joke, but
apparently there's this year is a huge what are those things called? They're like grasshoppers, and they come up out of the ground like every
cicadas are
10 or cicadas. Yeah, there's a huge cicada thing that's supposed to happen this year. I mean, they're already coming out in some places, but
it's going down.
I wonder if they're going to eat tons of food crops.
Okay, so this tool. But here's what I'm thinking though. Yeah, that could be it. Eating tons of crops or just wrecking. What is going on?
Yeah,
with this? Why is this just?
Plus, farmers are being paid extra this year. Biden is paying like 400,000 acres. He's taking them out of crop production. He's paying more farmers to not grow crops than they have in a long time. I was reading about it the other day.
Yeah,
normally they pay farmers not to grow stuff quite a bit because, if there's too much food, then the food supply is flooding the market, and so farmers can't make very much money when they sell it. So they normally pay, it's like crop rotation or something, or I forget what it's called, but they pay farmers normally, some farmers not to grow. They just grow a cover crop, and then they till it back into the soil, and it rejuvenates the soil, and it keeps the supply from being oversaturated. And so farmers can sell their crops and make money. But in order to mitigate CO2, he's taken like a huge number, like 40% of the crops are going to be eliminated this next year, where he wants people to just grow a crop and not do anything, not touch it, not drive a tractor. Like it's supposed to eliminate like global warming or something.
Right. But here's the thing.
Which is ridiculous.
You know how we've been hearing about this meat shortage thing, right? It's been shoved down our throats for a minute now. Like, oh, there's gonna be meat shortage, blah, blah, blah. All this. Okay. Well, clearly there's an agenda here with the plant-based BS. And that's my thing. The hacks have been absolutely...
Yeah, do you remember that movie Snowpiercer? Where like the people in the very back of the train, like they just got these like food cubes, and it turns out that they were insects that they were like just cooking up into these little food pellets. And then the wealthy like 1% up in the front of the train, they were having like huge feasts with all this delicious food and parties. And I think that movie is sort of a metaphor for what we have to maybe look forward to in the apocalyptic possibilities.
Yeah, it's
terrifying.
It's really terrifying. But the push is clearly, I mean, it's been on for a minute with idiots like, and I have friends that are like vegan, that have been vegan for a long time, or vegetarian, it has nothing to do with any agenda or any of that shit. They've been doing this shit for a long time, since mid to late 90s, right? Mid 90s, straight up, like just doing it for other reasons. And
personal health.
And they're totally not okay with the plant-based meats, and they're aware that it's literally creating like the ultimate GMO nightmare. You know what I'm saying? Like the real biotech is Godzilla, besides like this experimental gene therapy nonsense. Like it's
you have to really be educated to be you have to be really, really health and food educated to be a vegan and be a healthy vegan. Even a vegetarian, like it's really hard to make sure that, I mean, it's not hard if you eat the right foods, but if you don't know what the right foods are, you can have a lot of health problems because you're not getting all of the vitamins and nutrients that your body needs.
Exactly.
There's a lot of vegetarians in the town that I live at because there's a large population of Seventh-day Adventists, and
Okay.
I think a lot of them
They're
are
pescatarians.
vegetarian.
They're usually pescatarian, or they're raw. You know, they're usually on the raw diet, or pescatarians. A lot of the Seventh-day Adventists.
Vegetarians.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I had a neighbor, this lady, she was like really sad. Like she was talking to me. She was like, you know, like I've been a vegetarian for years, and like I kind of hate myself because I think that like when I was pregnant, I didn't eat any meat because of my religious beliefs, but she thought that like I mean her son was like a grown up when I met her. He was like, you know, in his mid-20s. But she's like, yeah, he's kind of dumb. He's kind of like not very bright. And she blamed herself because she thought that, and he also had some like, you know, they all had like sort of thin hair, and like their skin was, you know, just not like the most healthy. And they were thinking it was because they weren't eating enough protein or iron, you know, during the developmental stage of her pregnancy. And
Right.
they actually started eating meat and had some health problems go away.
Yeah, that makes sense, man. Like eating red meat just a couple times a week. I mean, to each their own. I'm not out here trying to preach anything, but it helps me. I don't eat red meat often at all. I mean, I really don't. Once or twice
Inside of the human mouth, we have teeth, you know, that are designed for eating meat.
Exactly.
We have two teeth that are designed for eating vegetables. You know, we've got the whole gambit. We're not just strictly herbivores, I think.
No, not at all. Trying to find this. I don't know why now I can't find the most creepy part of this, where they're literally talking about hallucinations of, you know, seeing the dead or dead relatives.
You know, it sounds exactly like if, okay, you know, if you wanted to create a zombie virus,
Yeah.
it's going to be really really tough to get a body to live on after it's dead and want to eat people, but it would be a little bit more plausible if people were still alive but they got sort of zombified, like, you know, rabid, or if somebody's hallucinating and having you know, tremors and bad hallucinations, and then they start like, if they think that they're being attacked and bugs are crawling on them, they might act out in crazy physical ways.
For sure.
You know,
I gotta figure this. Get back to the scene here. Hold on. Okay.
like if it was engineered, it would be pretty genius. And you know, also that's same stuff. I've heard that electromagnetically you can create similar effects, like hallucinations. Like I've heard that people had haunted houses, and they would like, they'd see like shadowy hooded black, dark figures, and have nightmares, have trouble sleeping, have and insomnia, and they did a bunch of tests in the house and found out that it was just in the perfect spot on like under some high voltage power lines and with some other things around it, that there was a place in the house where some weird electromagnetic thing happened, and it caused, they were thinking that the haunting was actually just happening inside the people's brains because of the effects of these electromagnetic radiation.
Yeah, and Providence Athenium is saying silent sonic weapons are starting to get into the wrong hands. Shouldn't be in anyone's hands, right? That could be the case, man. This is just really, really tripped out. I don't. And what's messing with me right now, guys, is the fact that I can't get the specific line where in any of these where I just yesterday was researching this, preparing to actually bring this information to, you know, on the show. And yeah, it was very specific about saying visions of the dead, hallucinations of the dead. Like,
Wow.
like adding that extra element of just, holy shit, this is a fucking awful horror film, you know? And now I can't find it anywhere on any of these articles. And they were in every article that I'm clicking on. It's like they've been, this is really weird.
But they're being real time edited.
Yeah. Or not real time, or just like maybe, because I gotta give props to Clyde Lewis for bringing it up. He mentioned it in passing, and then I was like, oh, I gotta look into that. And yeah, now it's gone.
Thank you, Clyde Lewis.
Yep, good looking out, Clyde.
He definitely sounds like something he would notice and mention.
Right, stumble onto. Actually, let me hold on one second. I'm gonna grab my phone right here real quick, and because I have it. Pretty sure I have a link to it right there. But yeah, maybe we can continue on to with the just what, I don't know, the bone that they're trying to throw. It's a joke with the UFO thing too. But this is another thing. This just doesn't, there's multiple things here. They're starting to stack that are a little bit too, you know, right up our alley. For fun to just it just feels like lame sleight of hand, you know. It's just like, really, ooh, guys, look, horror, you know what I mean, like real life X-Files shit going on in New Brunswick here in this little community, and ooh, guys, UFOs.
So here's a real person on my phone, if you can tell. It says Gabriella Cormier is one of the youngest patients afflicted by extreme fatigue, involuntary jerking movements, memory lapses, and hallucinations.
Dude.
It says for six years after they were first reported, debilitating neurological symptoms have shaken Providence of New Brunswick and still have doctors in Canada stumped. 48 people from the same small Canadian province struck with a baffling mix of symptoms, including insomnia, impaired motor function, and hallucination, such as nightmarish visions of the dead.
There you go. There it is.
A quixotic neurologist working 12-hour days to decipher the clues. Swirling conspiracy theories blaming the illness on cell phone towers, fracking, or even COVID-19 vaccines. These are just some plot lines of a mystery that has stumped Canada's medical establishment, attracted the attention of some of the world's top neurologists, and fan fears among residents of New Brunswick, a picturesque province of about 770,000 on Canada's Atlantic coast. In the past 6 years, dozens of people have fallen ill from the disease, and 6 people have died. People are alarmed, says Yvonne Godin, the mayor of Bertrand, a village in the Acadian Peninsula in northeastern New Brunswick, where residents have been afflicted. They are asking, is it environmental? Is it genetic? Is it a fish or deer meat? Is it something else? Everyone wants answers. As the coronavirus raged across the country the past 15 months, the medical enigma was initially slow to gain national attention. Canadian health authorities, distracted by the need to respond to the pandemic, scrambled to determine the seriousness of the outbreak, which was only publicly exposed after a memo about it by New Brunswick's chief medical officer was leaked to the press in March. Doctors investigating the disease say the sluggish response underlines the challenge for other medical conditions to compete for the spotlight during a global pandemic. Medical experts said the murkiness surrounding the illness also reflected how, despite extraordinary advances in medical science, some conditions, in particular neurological diseases involving dementia, can puzzle even the world's best scientific brains. The Canadian outbreak could join the pantheon of other ailments that have mystified the world, such as a debilitating illness that impaired dozens of diplomats in Cuba and China beginning in 2016, prompting suspicions that victims may have been targeted by Moscow, Beijing,
Determine
or
the
a rogue
seriousness.
government. That was like some microwave attacks, is what they thought that it was, I think. There was also a painful and puzzling kidney disease that afflicted workers harvesting sugarcane in Nicaragua 4 years earlier. The mystery, however, could also fizzle if it turns out that a variety of pre-existing conditions that have prematurely ascribed to a strange new illness. Among the youngest victims of the Canadian syndrome is Gabriella Cormier, 20 years old, once a straight A student who participated in figure skating competitions and inspired to become a pathologist. But as she began university 2 years ago, Miss Cormier said she was suddenly and inexplicably overcome by fatigue, started bumping into things, and had visions that looked like static from a television. No longer able to read easily or walk to class, she was forced to drop out of school. Not understanding what was wrong amplified the illness's horror. After being misdiagnosed with mononucleosis, Miss Cormier said emergency room doctors then told her there was nothing wrong with her. A battery of tests yielded no diagnosis. She was eventually referred to a neurologist as her health deteriorated and she experienced involuntary jerking movements, memory lapses, and hallucinations. She was among the first to be included in the cluster of those suffering from the unidentified syndrome. Today, she lives at home in Dalhousie Junction in rural northern New Brunswick and walks with a cane. I was just starting what is supposed to be the best chapter of your life, and then it disappeared, she said. I don't know if I will die or live out the rest of my life with these symptoms. She's in a wheelchair now. Andre Marc Cormier pushing his daughter Gabrielle up the driveway of their Dalhousie Junction house. And there's a picture of her in a wheelchair there.
This is awful.
Dr. Neil Cashman, a neurologist in the University of British Columbia in Vancouver, who's investigating the illness, said it was a medical whodunit of the type seen only a couple of times a century. From the standpoint of a mystery, there is usually something horrible like a murder. In this case, it is rapidly progressive dementia and psychiatric manifestations, losing everything at once that is controlled by the brain and the spinal cord, he said. It is terrifying. But other medical experts questioned the condition's novelty. Dr. Michael D. Geishwind, a professor of neurology at the University of California, San Francisco, who is one of the world's leading experts on rare neurological outbreaks, hasn't studied the cases or autopsies of these affected. But he cautioned that what can seem like a new illness sometimes turns out to be a known disease that hasn't been diagnosed. Those affected, he added, could end up suffering from a grab bag of disparate neurodegenerative diseases that were being linked together. Sometimes what seems to be a cluster turns out to be something else, he said. The disease was first observed in 2015 when a New Brunswick neurologist, Dr. Alir Marrero, saw a patient who presented a bizarre mix of symptoms, including anxiety, depression, rapidly progressive dementia, muscle pains, and frightening visual disturbances. 3 years later, he had 8 total cases. The next year, the total was 20, then 38, then 48. The patients range in age from 18 to 84 and live primarily in 2 areas of New Brunswick. Montcalm or Moncton, Montcalm, and the Acadian Peninsula. Baffled by what he was observing, Dr. Marrero, a physician at Dr. George L. Dumont University Hospital Center in Montcalm, ordered blood tests, spinal taps, MRI scans, and electroencephalograms. There's a picture of the fancy doctor there.
Yeah, for some reason it seemed to be just waiting out whenever I was trying to share the screen. I don't know why that was doing that.
Dr. Marrero said the tests revealed abnormalities such as brain atrophy and neurological dysfunction, but none of the results linked together to form a clear diagnosis. He initially suspected Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease, a rapidly progressive neurodegenerative disease that is thought to be caused by prions, novel infectious agents that damage the brain. But the patients tested negative for known forms of CJD. He scoured medical texts. He scoured medical texts. He consulted with colleagues across the world. Eventually, he said, only one conclusion made sense. It was not something we have seen before. With no diagnosis, he gave the devastating disease a deadly prosaic working name: neurological syndrome of unknown etiology in New Brunswick. That's a super lame name. Neurological syndrome of unknown etiology in New Brunswick. ENSUENB. There's not even a cool acronym there. He also sounded the alarm, notifying colleagues in federal and provincial health authorities. In April, 6 years after the first cases emerged, health authorities in New Brunswick and Ottawa, Canada's capital, assembled a team of neurologists, epidemiologists, environmentalists, and veterinarians to investigate. Brain autopsies of the 6 victims are being analyzed at a federal laboratory in Ottawa, while a team of neurologists and pathologists from across Canada is reviewing the evidence. Of the 3 autopsies done so far, all have been negative for known forms of prion disease. According to Dr. Michael Colthart, a neurologist who is leading the investigation, medical investigators said that the list of potential causes has been winnowed down to 4 or 5. Dr. Cashman, the University of British Columbia neurologist, said one line of inquiry was that the disease could be caused by a toxin known as beta-methylaminoalanine, or BMAA, which is produced by blue-green algae and has been linked to diseases like Parkinson's and Alzheimer's. Another potential culprit, he said, is chronic exposure to domoic acid, a neurotoxin found in shellfish off the coast of New Brunswick. He said the team was not ruling out that it could be a new prion disease or a syndrome caused by an infectious agent such as a bacteria, a virus, or a fungus. Some families of those suffering from the symptoms are angry that health authorities took so long to reveal them. Stephen Ellis, whose father Roger is part of the New Brunswick outbreak, said his family wanted to know whether the condition was genetic or caused by an external factor. Once jovial and active, his father is now confined to a nursing home and has suffered weight loss, irritability, and delusions. Only after reading the leaked New Brunswick public health officer's internal memo about the syndrome in March did Mr. Ellis connect it to his father's illness. It was like reading our private family story, he recalled. The pandemic overshadowed this disease.
Of course.
He added, why did it take so long for this to become public? Dr. Jennifer Russell, New Brunswick's chief medical officer.
Go ahead. Sorry. I'm wondering how much is left, do you think?
Not too much.
Okay.
Another
Rip it.
3 paragraphs.
Right.
Dr. Jennifer Russell, New Brunswick's chief medical officer, told a news conference in April that provincial health authorities had prudently reacted once federal health officials determined that the number of cases was significant. There is a long road ahead to determine the cause, she said. But Mr. Ellis said families like his were running out of time. If my dad had terminal cancer, of course it would be upsetting, but at least there would be a prognosis, he said. We are watching him dying a slow death, and nobody can tell us why. And then there's some corrections.
Okay, so what article is this from specifically?
What's that?
What article is this from specifically? Can you drop it in the Zoom chat maybe, or give me a?
Oh,
or hey,
can I
can
text
you
it?
yeah, text it. I'm looking at the message right now.
Okay.
What up, kid? What up, Kit Kat? What up, pussy?
Oh, I got a cat, huh? Kitty cat. I've got a I've got a parasite in my brain that makes me take care of this stupid cat.
Nice. Okay, so we got that. I'm gonna
I used to hate cats.
copy and paste this. Okay, so this is actually a New York Times article that the New York Times article, funny enough, went into the hallucinations, right, of the dead.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's fun, right? Oh, it's too fun.
Yeah, New York Times. It's going into mentioning the dead. That was in the first paragraph.
Wow. Wow. I can't wait.
Yeah, I know. That's insane. And it seems localized to one sort of geographical area, the peninsula on the coast. So I mean, it's interesting. It's good and bad because because they have the ocean there, there's a lot of things that could be unique to that area, like people eating fresh fish or whatever, like they were saying shellfish or algae.
See, that's going to demonize further. Don't eat any kind of meat. Don't eat shellfish. Now, don't eat shellfish. Right? Like it's just.
Yeah.
Because they're already working on. They've been working feverishly, from what I've read.
12-hour days.
Trying. I'm hearing 16 to 18-hour days actually. Trying to get. That was awesome. Trying to get the okay, so you know how hard they worked on in the labs trying to get the impossible burger, what have you, to taste, like actual meat. It actually tastes better from what I understand. I haven't tried it, but everybody I've talked to says like it's not right. The texture, everything, right, of the fake, the plant-based shit. I haven't tried it, but the people I've talked to that have tried it say it's better, texture, everything, like it's ridiculously good. Now, I'm hearing that they're doing that with seafood, and they're doing their damnedest on trying to recreate. Yeah.
To recreate seafood?
Yeah, seafood that in the same manner. Yep.
So are they just genetically engineering stuff?
Absolutely.
Like
It's
a
all
plant
genetically
that
modified.
tastes like meat?
Yeah. It's psycho.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, it's like.
What would that have to do with us? Like, people don't realize that.
Oh, it's climate change, bro. Climate change.
The things that we put into our body makes into us. Like every 7 years, every single cell in your body is dies and is recreated. Like it takes 7 years. After 7 years, all your cells have renewed.
Right,
and
that's why you sometimes
no part of you was the same as it was before.
It's like,
and what does it make that stuff out of? It's the stuff that you eat.
Yep. It's like all of a sudden you've hated, for example, like I remember I hated, what was it? Dude, my brain. I hated, not, what was it? Dude, I can't even think of it. What my brain is wrecked right now. Everybody, I apologize.
Vegetables? Maybe you have the prions.
Yeah, maybe it's the prions, dude. Making
Are you hallucinating?
She's in my brain. Yeah, right. I'm having a mini stroke right now. Damn, I didn't know 4 was this rough. But no, it was Brussels sprouts. Jesus, Barsky.
Oh yeah, me too. I used to hate them. Now I love them.
Can't stop, like, dude. Just let me get some. Just cooking in some bacon fat.
Oh
That's
yeah,
a wrap, dude. That's a wrap. So good. And I can eat that all day, all night. I just like on cast iron skillet. Just do it up right. That
so
so
it begs a
many
question:
things.
Is a genetically modified plant that has whatever properties that meat has that makes it taste like meat? Is that still a plant, or is that an animal, or is that like
it's an animal, and it's
a hybrid?
It's an animal, and it's coming from a artificially grown, like 3D printed type, right? Like
Is it ever alive?
from what I understand, it's not. Like it's actually just like a, if you can picture like
Just
just like a beating heart, right? Like that they have. Man, I need to pull this up. Actually, we need to do a show on this one. It's not 147, and
is it like amino acids just in orders that make it make it meat, but is made out of plants?
Yeah.
Or something like they can 3D print that. So it's still technically a plant?
No.
Or is it
just
like
for example, my boy Matera, he was like, I am so not okay with how they, how they're making this meat, this plant-based meat. He's like, I'm not eating that shit. It comes from a, you know what I mean? Like, it comes from an animal. At some point, it's still derived and then genetically modified to fucking back. Like,
and they make it back into a plant? Ooh.
I don't know how it's synthesized, but all I know is it's just so foul. But it's the writing on the wall with all, like I was saying before, with the hacking into the meat. The meat. What is the word I'm looking for, bro? The
genome.
No, the meat. The meat. Like it's not like the farm, dude. What the fuck is the word? I don't know. I'm dying. Apparently the handful of mushrooms I ate a couple of hours ago is not doing me any favors right now.
So my concern is though is that it's not a plant and it's not meat. And if we eat it,
let's
are we still a human? Are we made into something else?
see.
Does that make us into something that's more of a genetically engineered or modified organism? If we eat GMOs, are we genetically modified?
Right.
I would have to say yes.
Yeah. Let's try to.
And you know what? If we're not, if it makes us not human anymore, technically on a genetic level, do we still have human rights? Can we are we legally a human still?
They're probably working that down to the point where we realize that we're not. Yeah, we're not even gonna have.
I mean,
basic.
We would be just property.
Common law. Yeah. Exactly.
We wouldn't have a human right. Maybe that's what's going on. Maybe they're just, all of a sudden we're gonna be like the slow boil that they bring. You put a frog in a pot of cold water and then you slowly bring the temperature up, and by the time it's boiling, the frog never knew what hit it. And by the time we realize it's boiling, we're not going to be humans anymore, human beings. We're going to be something else, a genetically modified person-ish.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll be too late.
What's
Like
funny?
we just walked ourselves out of any legal protection.
Right. And what's funny is like when I was discussing this walking through the grocery store with Tara the other day, he was like, "Yeah, it's disgusting. It's awful for you. These, this plant-based meat, what have you." And he was like, "I can barely even eat. What was it? What did he tell me? Like a veggie burger or whatever. Like all that soy, all that shit. It's awful for you. It's terrible for me. So I don't even mess with that. Like all the fake, any of that stuff." But here we go. I'm pulling it up right now. So, how it's made, plant-based burgers. This is from PMG. So I should look at it.
Menopause hormone treatments that you buy over the counter is soy.
Is it really?
Yeah.
So,
It's mostly just soy. So if and if you want to get hormone treatment to chill out your hot flashes, they would give you estrogen, which is, over the counter. That supplement is soy. And if we're eating it as men, what's that going to do to, it's going to throw your whole endocrine system out of whack,
right.
Exactly. Whole soy boy thing.
Yeah. And dude, there's even a brand called Soy Boy. Like I couldn't believe it. I was like, what? Is this a joke, dude? It's like, that doesn't that's
what is it? Soy boy milk or something?
It's like soy boy. See, I could see like a Mr. Show skit. Can you? Like, I'm sorry, Mr. Show is still up there, like the greatest comedies of all time, in my opinion. Let me get this working right here. The frig. Come on, man. Okay. Okay, let me get this zoomed in. Okay. So let's see. Okay, minerals from taste to function. These minerals deliver the nutrients we expect from meat. Okay, so blah blah blah. So these beet juice, apple extract, natural flavors for the blood, right?
Well, they make it look really that's basic. That's normal food.
Yeah,
Those are primary foods. Beet, potato, salt.
Yeah, right.
But
this is all stuff we're normally eating anyway. Okay, so let's find out. Let's see.
But if you isolate just one part of each one of those plants and put it together, it's not it's not that plant anymore.
What do you think we should be looking at here? So let's see here. Okay. Tacos is delivering juicy, delicious taste you don't love while being better for you and like fuck you, better for me. That's the future we're working to build. Click look. Okay. Yeah, it's got tons of protein, but it's also got 50 billion parts per trillion estrogen, like compared to just, a normal, like a quarter pound or a half pound Royale with cheese.
Yeah.
Like an actual ground beef burger. It's literally like 500 million times more estrogen, which is just wild. Okay, so
yeah, burgers that will take the hair off your chest.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, the prices for this fake Beyond Meat, whatever the hell they want to call it, plant-based garbage, is the prices are plummeting for this to move it, obviously, and then the prices for ground beef or anything is just skyrocketing. Like it's just going up, and it's artificial inflation. Clearly, I mean, every inflation is wild right now, obviously.
They're gonna price us out of our
Let's
bodies.
see if FAQ, if there's anything here that we can actually get to the bottom of. But we know who funded all this shit. It was like Leonardo DiCaprio's bitch ass put like 25. No, it was literally like over, I think it was like $50 million to $100 million into the paying off the labs and science, like to get this up and running off the ground. There were a number of wannabe, like people that actually think they're making a difference, virtue signaling. Not even virtue signaling. These people actually believe that what they're doing is the right thing. That's what's effed up about this whole thing. Is they truly are convicted and they think they're doing good when they've been sold a load of shit.
Yeah.
Okay, so made from plants, simply, without GMOs. Load of shit. The only way you can actually... Dude, they're lying. Just... This is a lie.
Without the GMOs.
Right, that's impossible. Like, you have to genetically modify this to even get... Oh, God. I'm going to lose my mind. But it's clear. The writing's on the wall, right? They're doing everything they can.
Yeah. I'm not even sure if they're, like, how many plants aren't GMO.
Oh, let's look at this lie. Okay, how do you rebuild meat without genetically modifying anything? Protein, fat, minerals, carbohydrates, and water are the 5 building blocks of meat. We source these building blocks directly from plants. Oh, really? How does that work? Using heating, cooling, and pressure, we create the fibrous texture of meat from plant-based proteins. Then we mix in fats, minerals, fruit and vegetable-based colors, natural flavors, and carbohydrates to replicate the appearance, juiciness, and flavor of the meat. The result, uncompromisingly delicious plant-based breakfast sausage, no sacrifice required. So that's all. So
I wonder if they're, I guess it's not genetically modified if you're just cloning plant to get the parts to make.
No, that's not how it works. They're already lying. They're lying so hard here. So let's see. Let me go back and oops. How long have we been streaming for? 1 hour 30.
I'll be right back. I'd let my dog in.
Do it. Okay. All right. So, yeah, the writing's on the wall with this. I think we can all see that. Okay. Where's the beef? The history of plant-based meats. From mammoths and meatballs. Okay. The global meat industry is currently valued at $1.4 trillion, with beef alone expected to reach $380 billion by. Okay.
I'm back.
Word. Okay, so this is crazy. No, it's gonna do this. Okay, where's the beef? The history of plant-based meats. From mammoths to meatballs, hard to imagine the meat industry when animals weren't on the menu. The global meat industry is currently valued at $1.4 trillion, with beef alone expected to reach $380 billion by 2025, and yet meatless alternatives cooked up in a lab by Impossible Foods and Beyond Meat could eat into over 10% of the traditional meat market. That's a load of shit. They're planning on eating it 50 to 60%. According to experts at Barclays, that number is estimated to reach $140 billion in the next decade. So what exactly is driving consumer demand to put big beef out to pasture? Alternative snacks. Okay, let's see. Okay, it says 2017 study found that the top 3 meat producers, JBS, Cargill, and Tyson, emitted more greenhouse gases in 2016 than all of France. Okay, I don't know. I don't doubt that, actually, because of their factory, you know what I mean? Their methods, which are disgusting, and will, if the vegan friends that I know I had back in the 90s or whatever, dude, would show those videos, you know what I'm saying? Of how awful they treat the animals at such places as Cargill, Tyson. You know what I mean? Awful, the treatment. And I actually believe this. The more greenhouse gases that they do emit that much, it does add up. If anybody's seen Preacher, one of the greatest shows ever.
I could see that it probably makes less greenhouse gases, but I'm really, my jury is out on whether or not that makes a difference for global warming. I think that the temperature of the Earth is just a cyclical thing.
No, yeah,
like it goes up and it goes down, and it's nothing that we really can control.
Right, and then also, it's not an individual thing, which they try to pit it off, obviously for tax, reasons. But the other thing is,
profit centers.
Yeah, profit centers, and also, like making us feel guilty for driving a car or whatever with diesel. What it really doesn't matter. The point is, like, they're the ones putting off like mass amounts of fucking, like, think about how, if you think about how much the shipping lanes in general, like the Long Beach, the Port of Long Beach, literally these ships, these cargo ships put out so much. It's insane. It's disgusting. It's so foul. And they want to blame us for it.
You know how much a city, it just to make all that concrete, it makes so much gas. I don't know. I think everybody should have farms and stuff, but I guess that makes a difference.
It does.
Electricity. Yeah, electricity is bad for the environment. Most plants, most power plants are making CO2. If we really cared, then we'd stop using electricity,
or at least adopt not be as opposed to. I know people are like, fossil fuels, we're not running out of oil or anything like that anytime soon. It doesn't mean that we shouldn't explore alternative, you know what I'm saying, alternative energy sources. Like, I think that's ridiculous. Yeah. That's like the most boneheaded shit that I hear from like at least right wing people. It's like, dude, are you stupid? Like, so you just want to keep mining coal? Like why would you? Like, it's filthy, it's awful. Like, you want to keep fracking too? Great. Let's just keep fucking shit up, because that causes so many issues, dude. Let's not even get into that. Like, it's awful. It's disgusting. Like, there's way cleaner. There's just way cleaner energy out there that we can be.
Personally, myself, I think that the Earth it rejuvenates oil fields.
Oh, it does. Absolutely.
Oil field might dry up, but then it'll fill back up. Yeah. I don't think there's anything I think that peak oil is a lie. It's against scarcity mindset.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what they have to have, the scarcity mindset. That's the only way it works. It's a joke. But one thing, I mean, it all plays into this right here. So a 2017 study, blah, 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 that the top 3 emitters in more greenhouse gases, well, that's what they're going to go with first, right? But a staggering statistic that when coupled with recent studies linking red and processed meat to colorectal cancer, okay, nobody gives a shit, I'm sorry, could potentially spell slaughterhouse for the meat industry. Fuck off. This is straight propaganda garbage, trash right here. But
more people die from obesity than rectal cancer.
Let's think of something real quick, right? Let's think of one thing really funny because of how selective this is and ridiculous. Because, like, think about how many times have you heard, the AMA or the NIH recently stated that coffee is now blank for you. Flip it, put it however you want. Coffee is good for you, good for your heart. Bad for your heart, good for your heart, bad. And then you have the red wine, not so good for your heart. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
2 glasses of red wine a day isn't as good as the doctors originally thought. Like, dude, they flip flop on that. They've been doing this for years. It's textbook, playbook garbage. But yeah, that's this process of meat to colorectal garbage.
I wonder if more people die from colon or rectal cancer than coronavirus. if it's more than 1%, we should shut down the country and
We
quit
should.
quit eating meat.
Put masks on our assholes. Much like the adoption of non-dairy alternatives such as soy. Wait, okay, so there's soy, almond, and oat milk. By the way, yeah, that's also here in my home state of Wisconsin, America's dairy land. They are murdering. Okay, they're just murdering the dairy farmers here, and it's insane. The push.
Oh yeah,
for the fake milk.
I heard that they still get the same. They still make the same amount of money for a gallon of milk that they have made. They made the same. They still get paid the same amount for each gallon of milk that they did like 30, 40 years ago. But the cost of everything else, gas for their equipment, everything else has gone up. So they're just economically, they're pricing them out of being able to be small farmers. So the only farms that can survive are factory farms.
Exactly. Which is foul and disgusting. And here's the gross part right here. Much like the adoption of non-dairy alternatives such as soy, almond, and oat milk, which caused a $1.1 billion loss for the U.S. dairy industry in 2018. Oh, go figure. American palates and perceptions are ever-changing. In 2018, over half of Americans stated they were trying to incorporate more plant-based meals into their daily lives, leaving the future of protein open for innovation. Get the F out of here. I believe that is 100% just bullshit. I don't believe it at all. I really don't. It's manufactured numbers. Sounds familiar. Manufactured numbers. Manufactured numbers. Let's see. Long before Beyond Meat caught the hungry eyes of Dunkin' Donuts and Tim Hortons, another pair of breakfast barons had launched a meatless movement of their own, most remembered for the invention of cornflakes. Oh, this piece of shit. Which popularized cereal as an alternative to traditional animal protein heavy breakfast. John Harvey Kellogg created hundreds of different foods at his facility in Battle Creek, Michigan. With the help of his brother William, the duo are credited with creating Protos, the earliest form of imitation meat in the Western world in 1889. I don't know what to make of this. As a member of the mostly vegetarian religious group Seventh-day Adventist Church, Dr. Kellogg believed that a diet centered around bland foods would lead Americans away from sin. Yeah, do you know the other thing about this fool was he was obsessed with boys pooping. He was obsessed with boys having clean poops. And it was like it was more pure for them to be Christians. It was sick. This dude was crazy. That's what cornflakes he designed. The bland foods would lead.
Whoa! I just left the room and I came back in a really weird spot. What are you talking about?
Here we go. All right, so with the help of his brother, all right, so here we go. John Harvey Kellogg created hundreds of different foods at his facility in Battle Creek, Michigan. With the help of his brother William, the duo are credited with creating Protos, the earliest form of imitation meat in the Western world in 1889. As a member of the mostly vegetarian religious group Seventh-day Adventist Church, Dr. Kellogg believed that a diet centered around bland foods would lead Americans away from sin. Now, we're learning that he was obsessed with, like, boys pooping, like boys' diets. Yeah, it was really freaking tripped out. So
that is weird.
Yeah.
That is kind of a weird, creepy thing to be super focused on.
Yeah, it's bland enough for you. Okay, we'll move on to this later. I'm gonna have to.
There's a lot of Adventists in this town, and one thing that I like, that Adventist food, it's called a haystack. And it's like a traditional sort of Adventist meal, and it's they take Frito chips and then put like chili on top of it, and then like cheese and stuff. Dude. It's called a haystack. It's pretty good.
Sounds delightful.
Oh, and lettuce too. I think they put lettuce on it.
Dude,
it's interesting.
It is interesting. Let's sign off. We'll dig into this more.
Sounds good. Yeah, I like to. We should definitely keep an eye on that mysterious Canadian disease with a funny name, the zombie apocalypse disease.
Seriously, that is really
hopefully they figure that out and it doesn't spread.
It is really creepy. Yeah. We're keeping an eye on that, and then we'll let's come back on tomorrow or Saturday. We'll figure it out next couple days. We'll be back on.
Yeah, I think I'll probably I probably won't be able to do it tomorrow
No, I'll do
tonight,
We'll do
but I'll be
Saturday.
back on Saturday.
Cool. Yeah.
If we do it, we should do a live show. It'd be great.
Yep. We'll do it. And I'm trying to think. Well, there's a couple guests that are up for Saturday right now. Still trying to figure
Oh,
out
sweet.
opportunities, so we'll see, but it's gonna be fun. So
Oh, great!
Yeah,
I'm excited.
yeah, that'll be fun. Be good. Cool.
Cool.
All right, everybody, have a beautiful evening. We will.
Yeah. Till then, we live in your mind.
We do. And hold on, let's make that happen. Okay, let's make it happen. I'm out of here. Here we go. No. There. All right. Yeah, we can live in your mind now. All right. Now.
Live in your mind. Are you gonna play us out?
Yep. Yes, I am. Here we go.
We love you, folks.
We do.
Love you. Good night. Bye. Love you. Good night.
The captain said.
Love the way you're reading this.
Bill
I'd
Gates
love your mind.
is divorcing his wife.
Can I rape your mind?
I think you're already in it.
Yeah, we
That's
do.
what I was looking at.
Live on YouTube. I can see it.
I've got the circle of death. Wait, what is it called? It's the circle of death. My Wi-Fi.
Your wifey? Alright.
Wifey.
That's what I thought. Okay. I'll log on to your wife later tonight.
What?
Yeah. Oops. Wi-Fi.
Crack spider.
The captain said.
Love the way you're reading this.
Bill
I'd
Gates
love your mind.
is divorcing his wife.
Can I rape your mind?
I think you're already in it.
Yeah, we
That's
do.
what I was looking at.
Live on YouTube. I can see it.
I've got the circle of death. Wait, what is it called? It's the circle of death. My Wi-Fi.
Your wifey? Alright.
Wifey.
That's what I thought. Okay. I'll log on to your wife later tonight.
What?
Yeah. Oops. Wi-Fi.
Crack spider.
The captain said.
Love the way you're reading this.
Bill
I'd
Gates
love your mind.
is divorcing his wife.
Can I rape your mind?
I think you're already in it.
Yeah, we
That's
do.
what I was looking at.
Live on YouTube. I can see it.
I've got the circle of death. Wait, what is it called? It's the circle of death. My Wi-Fi.
Your wifey? Alright.
Wifey.
That's what I thought. Okay. I'll log on to your wife later tonight.
What?
Yeah. Oops. Wi-Fi.